because of it. I kind of knew all the time that somebody was going to get it. If they were after it, they were going to get it. Because I couldn't watch it every minute. Didn't want to. So I hope they have fun with it. Hope it changes their life.
Well, there's nothing anybody can do with it, Mom. You have to endorse it before it can be cashed.
Well, then nobody's going to profit.
Well, you can stop.
Not even me.
You can stop payment on the check, and in 90 days they'll give it back to you.
How can I stop payment on it when I don't even know the number of it? Or
Oh, they have all that record. They would have stopped payment on it the other day, except we found out that they would hold it for 90 days. And it is Georgia law. I checked with my bank, and it is Georgia law that they'll hold a...
Oh, that wouldn't bother me.
Well, right. I mean, so...
But how do I go to a bank and say, stop payment on this check that I have not in my possession, have no idea about?
Well, that's why people stop payment on checks. They get lost rather than end up getting into the wrong
How do
hands.
they know which one I mean?
Well, they wrote the check. They know exactly what check it was.
Okay, well, I'll stop payment on it then. I don't know. People are greedy and stupid, and I don't know. I'd rather be the loser than the person that had to grab.
Well, that's pretty amazing that somebody snuck in this house tonight while we were all here, and got in your room and found that check and went through all that stuff and left that mess here, and got out of the house and got the doors locked behind them. I mean, how in the world would that have actually happened?
I don't know.
But you're convinced that that's what happened?
No, I'm not sure.
What else could it have possibly
But it's gone. That's all I know.
What else could possibly have been? What could have possibly have happened for real? How many times has the check gone missing since you got the check? How many times has it been missing?
I don't know.
See, we went to the bank because it was missing, and we were going to have them stop payment on the check then and just issue a new one. That's when we found out it took 90 days. The check had been missing for a while, like a week and a half. And so we finally went to the bank, gave up on finding the check, and we came home, and I think it was the next day you found the check. You found it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't even care.
Well,
I don't care about the damn check. It's done nothing but cause trouble. I don't. Whoever has it, let them have it.
I guarantee it's in that room somewhere. I guarantee it.
No, it's not in the room. It's not there.
I had it safe in that strong box.
Where is the strong box?
Well, I had it in my bathroom under my sink where there was no mistaking where it was. It was very easy to find. You found it. You're pissed off because you thought I took it from you. And I was on the phone with Marla, you and I were on. You brought your phone to me the other day, Marla, doing FaceTime, and Marla wanted to talk to me about a few things. So I talked to Marla on your phone, and then you said. Then I went back and looked in your room, and it was up on the top shelf in the closet where I'd put it. So there it was, and I said, how about if I take, and Marla agreed that I would take the strong box and put it in a place where I knew exactly where it was, that wouldn't be picked up and gone anywhere missing, and you agreed at that time that would be the right thing to do. Well, later on that day, you got missing the strong box, and I reminded you that's what we had decided. I had it in a safe place, and there wasn't anything to worry about. And you got pissed. You were so pissed. I never said you could have the strong box. And Marla called me up.
I don't remember any of that.
Huh? Yeah. Well, this is what we're dealing with.
Well, I guess we are, because I dealt with it with my parents.
Well,
I mean, they had no memory. They imagined things, and I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I don't know.
Well, what did you do with your parents when they didn't remember something?
Well, it wasn't serious. It wasn't anything like a missing check. It was just stuff, Well, Daddy thought you had sold the house. Remember that?
Yes.
You had sold the land under the house.
Yeah.
And I think you were 10 at the time.
Yeah.
Well, that was the beginning of his dementia.
Well,
And we went all
actually, the deal
through
fell
the-
through. I did have a good deal on that house. It was a lot more than what he got for it. But he was smart. He was smart.
What were you getting for it? Do you remember?
That house right now probably go for $400,000.
You're kidding.
No, that's probably what it would go for.
Good Lord.
Well, the house on Powers Ferry, the last time I checked, was $880,000. The house in O'Galley was like $284,000. That house in O'Galley, concrete block house with no central air. Well, I guess I'm sure it has central air now, but anyway, yeah, real estate's nuts. But anyway,
Wow.
so I mean, how can we move forward and live with this situation?
Well, we can live with it because I have no suspicion of you, dear. None.
Well, I mean, you're
That
gonna
is it. That's how we can
48
move
hours from now, you're going to be at Marla's house.
Yeah. I mean,
And-
I just kissed the check goodbye. That's
the
all.
check is here, Mom. Relax. The check is here.
I don't think so.
I know it's here.
But if it
Absol-
isn't, I'm not living.
It
for that.
is here, though.
But I'm not living for that
Okay,
check.
well, that's fine.
I'm not like that.
It's here.
Okay. I don't know where.
So, but when you're at Marla's, you won't have these things: the checks, the gun, the titles for the car, the keys to the car, stuff that becomes missing to you because you really want to put it in a safe place where you know, we all do that.
I don't know where any of that stuff is.
Well, I have the key to the Mercedes because it would be a big pain in the neck to get a new key for that car. It'd be expensive.
Uh-huh.
So I have that safe, and I can picture exactly where it is. And but anyway, when you don't have these things that might become missing, I mean that you're worried about becoming missing, you don't have to worry about that at Marla's house because all that stuff's gonna be taken care of. And you trust Marla with your checking account.
I trust you too.
Well, Marla has your checking account information. She knows access to all your credit cards and knows all about your financial situation. And you know, only one of us needed to know it. So
and
I
my
did.
financial situation is not good.
It's fine. You got about $20,000 liquid cash right now.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And you got equity in the Jeep and the Mercedes, another $23,000 or so.
How come I have equity in that?
Because you own them.
The Jeep? Oh yeah, the Jeep.
Yeah, and the Mercedes. So,
Well, I was going to give you a car, and we never got around to it. Now I don't know how.
well, the Jeep, I mean, the Durango is on the books for the business that the company owes you. That was originally $30,000 for that Jeep. Altogether,
$30,000.
not for the Jeep, but the Durango. Yeah, that's what y'all paid for that car. Y'all paid $30,000. You paid like 18 for it, but you were upside down in a car when you traded it in for the Durango. You only drove the car for a short period of time. Then you were upside down on the car that you bought that car with. So all in all, you financed $30,000, but your credit was so good you could carry it. The Durango is like 18.9, but you actually financed it for 30.
That's impossible. $30,000 for that? Good Lord, who in the world would be
But
an
you
idiot
didn't.
enough
But
to
you
do
had
that?
you had bought other cars. Never mind. Anyway, so anyway, the company owes you the money that covers the Durango, okay, and that's on the books right there. All right, all the work that Ted did, everything, you know, $100,000 is what the company owes you. So as soon as we start making some money and start paying dividends, 10% of those dividends come directly to you.
When is that going to be launched?
Well, I've got to finalize this divorce with Kia, and we have a couple of other little details, but we're ready to go. We're ready to go, and I'm not rushing it.
Have you ever told her that until I get through with your dealings, I can't launch this?
No, that's not what I want to tell her because I'm not telling her that I have no paper trail to any research, any work that's been done, anything with Brian. I mean, she doesn't even know anything about Brian, and so I don't want to give her anything to gnaw on.
Well, then how are you ever going to get rid of her?
Well, she committed fraud against me. See, she did a fraudulent document for a wedding license. She made false statements in their testimony, and so I'm going to threaten to take her to court for perjury and attempted fraud and perjury, and I want to get a jury trial, and they're not going to want to pay for that. So, and there's a potential that she could go to jail, and so when she's threatened with that, I believe she's going to back off, and that's going to be that.
When's that going to happen, honey?
Well, I gotta finish. I gotta go back to work at Jeff's house, and Monday we'll be talking to Jeff about. I already told Jeff what I wanted to do, and told him he needed to get a copy of the marriage license from Hall County because they're not wanting to give it to me because they don't have they know the original document is fraudulent. Somebody shouldn't have, but somebody did do a marriage license based on the marriage license that Kia presented that was torn, and no document like that that's torn is valid anymore. That's real simple, really very clear. Plus, she filed it 4 years after we got married. So I can prove just by the fact that she took a torn document down and filed a marriage license 4 years after we got married. I mean, I can prove that she had intent back then. We'd only been married 4 years, and she had intent back then, and we were together 9. So really fascinating how God has worked with me on all this stuff, because she just wasn't meant to get any of it. And I sure have grown a lot in the past 5 years. I mean, my life is beautiful compared to the way I thought it was going to be. Didn't make any difference how much money there was. Well, with Kia, it was never going to be a quality life. And but everything is making perfect sense now. So I'm have every reason to be as happy as I've ever been in my life.
Oh, good.
And
is that a made-up name, Kia? What's her real name?
Glenda. She's named after her father, Glenn.
Right,
Yeah.
Glenda. I like Glenda a lot better than I do Kia.
I don't like either one of them much.
Oh.
But anyway, it's funny, you just put your life in God's hands. You got to be really willing to go where He takes you, and
That's
accept
right.
it. And
That's why I'm not upset over this. I mean, if anybody took my check.
Your check's here, Mom. Just get that off your mind.
Oh, I don't care.
Mom, you can't
it's
say
off
you don't
my
care.
mind.
Okay.
It's off my mind. I don't care about that damn check.
94 seconds.
That check doesn't motivate my life at all. I don't care. I didn't have it before, and I don't have it.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter.
Well, you've been smart with your money. I don't know how you're spending $1,000 a month on the Discover card. That's interesting. But again, that's not my.
What makes you think I spend $1,000 a month?
Well, I was going through the checks that had cleared the bank recently, and there was a $1,000 payment to Discover last month, and.
Well, if I did spend $1,000, it was good for spending. I don't go buy frivolously.
Well, like I say, I don't have anything to even.
I don't
have a
know
dog in the hunt. Marla's got
know.
all that covered, so I don't have to. There's no concern for me whatsoever. I don't have to. That's not on my plate. I don't even have to. None of my business.
I have no idea what I'd spend $1,000 on. There's nothing to spend $1,000 on.
Yeah. Well. You've bought some groceries and things like that, but
not $1,000 worth. The only expenditures I've had is when we have gone out and bought something because I don't buy anything online or anything like that. What am I going to buy? I don't need anything. I don't know. I don't know what in the world that's all about.
Well, like I said, we don't have to worry about that because Marla's got a handle on that. We don't have to. That's not even on our
Yeah,
radar.
at first I resented her doing that, and now I'm so glad she does. I didn't resent it in a bitter way, but I thought, "Ah, I'm an adult. I don't need all that." But, I forgot it soon because I trust her implicitly. So she wants to do that, great. She does it because she loves me.
Of course. Same reason I want to take care of your important papers for you because I love you and I don't want you to have to go through this angst that you go through when it gets misplaced. You have to you recognize that you have an issue with your memory.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so it should be easier now that you actually in the last few days you've come to terms with that, and you've been upset, you've been humorous about it, and everything like that. But just being able to talk about it candidly, that okay, now I know that my memory is playing tricks on me. Okay, well, I'm going to roll with it, and that's why I've been telling you that it'd be so much easier if you'll just, when the people in your life tell you, now it's hard using Jolly as an example because her memory's failing her too.
Yeah.
Definitely. Sydney's getting here hopefully on time because Jolly's memory is really failing her.
Yeah, Jolly is.
She really shouldn't be driving.
Well, she has a different issue than me. Did you know? Did I tell you about her taking all of my cosmetics and pasting them to the upper wall? She has this funny little thing in her bathroom where this wall comes over the part of the sink and everything. She took all my cosmetics that I used to clean myself up with and put them on the ceiling of that and pasted them to it. I don't know how she did it.
Wow.
But I have been thinking about that ever since. She laughed about it. I went in and I said, "Where in the world is so and so?" And I heard her laugh. I said, well, "Do you know, Jolly? Do you know where my stuff is that I have to make up with?" And she said, "I might." I said, "Well, if you do, will you tell me, please?" And she wouldn't tell me, and I found it. It was the bathroom had this funny kind of ceiling that came over it. It was all up on the ceiling.
She glued it to the ceiling in the
Yeah.
bathroom?
I couldn't believe it. And I have been more or less.
Did she tape it to the ceiling or she glue it to the ceiling?
I don't know what she did, but I haven't felt the same about her since. I mean, any friend that would do that to you, what kind of friend are they? But then I started thinking about it. I thought, well, she's going goo-goo, and I guess I should be understanding. But it was so bizarre. I couldn't believe it. And this is when I was staying with her. "I might," she said, like that. And I knew instantly. She knew exactly what she had done. And she did.
Well.
And boy, I'm not that bad, I tell you. I am nowhere near that kind of thing.
Who was the blonde-haired woman that you made coffee for that day?
Blonde-haired woman.
That was coming to see y'all? Or living there or something?
Well, there's no telling. She has friends that come and go, but I wouldn't call them really friends. They're just acquaintances, and they're people in her life for some purpose or another. I don't know.
You want a cookie?
Huh?
You want a couple of cookies?
Couple of cookies?
Yeah, there's some cookie dough in there that's still in the oven.
Oh.
It takes 10 minutes to preheat that oven, but only 10 minutes to cook the cookies. Well, I'll tell you, Jolly's been a great friend to you. She called me up the other day. She was concerned. Um, she really wanted to know about the trip.
Yeah, that trip. I really don't want to take that trip.
Well, Mom,
but I've got to.
I was watching the videos of these people, and they are a little more contemporary, than I was thinking they were going to be. And they have a wonderful band, and they have wonderful voices. And seeing live music in a concert hall is really a wonderful experience.
Well, I had every intention of going on it for a long time, and then Jolly got weird. Just like I told you about my stuff, I might.
Well, Mom, you have momentary lapses like that, and that's what we have to get used to, because I'm telling you, don't judge Jolly on that instance.
I don't blame Jolly.
She has been very concerned with you, and was really looking forward to you going to the Christmas thing.
I will go,
and,
but I don't want to.
I think you'll absolutely have. And Amy and Dave invited Marla and Michael up for a few days, so they're going to come stay with. They're going to bring you up here, stay with Amy and Michael, and then, bring you back. You only stay at Jolly's house as long as you want to.
I'm supposed to stay with Amy and Michael? No, just them.
No, Marla and Michael.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I mean, you could go up there for a day or two, too. I'm sure. Y'all could make whatever plans you want.
Well, I'm not thrilled about that trip at all.
Well, I mean,
I don't really want to go on it. But and at first I was going to go for Jolly's sake, but now that she is, doing these little tricky things,
Mom,
I'm not.
That was that single incident, or a very rare incident. Jolly has her moments too, and
I know.
I mean, she is. We laugh about her forgetting something. We just, but she's, like I say, I think it's, I guess old people have angels, special angels that hang with them while they're driving. But Barbara was talking about Jolly pulled out in front of a SUV, a woman with her kids in it. She pulled right out in front of them, and the woman she hadn't been paying attention, would have T-boned y'all. It would have been terrible.
When was that?
Oh, it was the last time Marma was up at Jolly's picking you up or something.
I don't remember Jolly ever
Y'all went to
driving with
Walmart.
Marla.
Y'all went to Walmart, and you were in the front seat. Marla was in the back seat of the Jeep, with the minivan. And yeah, Jolly. I'm glad she drives that big car. Those things are really safe.
I was thinking the other day how Jolly had it made. All of her children are there, and they come and visit her. And she's just as cuckoo as I am, but yet she gets along just fine. But nobody worries about her driving or anything.
Well, yeah, I can't imagine Jolly going out on her way to church in a car accident. I also think that's in Jolly's. It's not gonna happen.
I've never been with her when she's been driving that's been scary or anything. I mean, she seems to do just fine.
Yeah, well, it only takes one.
I can drive too, but nobody believes me.
I was with you the last time you drove. I kept wanting. That was why we had the Mercedes up at Jolly's house. I was going to go out for a drive on those country roads, and then give you a chance to get out and drive without having the confusion of the city. But something happened at Jolly's. You needed to get back here right away, so that changed the plans. But I understand.
I've never had any trouble driving. I've never had a close call or anything like that.
Do you remember going down to Daytona Beach and watching the car races?
Sure.
You can find that on YouTube, watching the car races from the 50s.
Really?
Yeah, you want to see it?
Yeah. What was the name of that guy? I knew that you were surprised. I knew that was in charge of all kinds of racing things.
Oh.
Remember, I knew him through Sally Rogers. Do you remember Sally Rogers? No. Her family knew him.
Oh, and I had such a good time down there. We stayed in a motel that was built the year we left.
Really?
Yeah, 1970.
Well,
Just
I
a
was
little
broken
six-story.
hearted when Daddy pulled me out of Memphis. Memphis was my home, and it was everything to me. I had to move to Florida.
I always thought that it would have been, growing up in Daytona Beach in the 50s as a teenager would have been infinitely more fun than growing up in Memphis as a teenager.
Well, Memphis was my home. I loved it. There were lots of things that would be inexplainable, but I love Memphis, and he took me out of it and put me in Daytona Beach. It was fun, but it wasn't Memphis. There was so much more to Memphis than to Daytona. Yeah, I went back for class reunions, and those kids thought it was great.
I mean, this happened right down the road from your house.
Huh?
This was right down the street from your house, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Where they raced. This is 1952. This is the second year that you were there. Jean's Service Station. Remember that place?
What?
Jean's Service Station.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, looks like Pop right there.
Huh. Huh. It's amazing how you can bring these things up.
Isn't it?
That's beautiful. Huh. My goodness. She's older than I am.
got it, but I've seen it so I was hoping to take a racing car down this stretch. Unfortunately, I came back unexpectedly from a trip from England without the time to arrange for this car to be here. So now I'm going to drive this one today. Mr. Schneider usually drives it.
Frankie Schneider, huh?
Yes.
Well, that was nice of you to give up the car. I'd like to know why you got started to racing.
Because I want to escape from a life of housekeeping.
Oh, I see. In other words, you don't care much for that kind of
I
fun.
won my first race. I began on a motorbike. I
How's
did
it
that
done in this country?
very well. I've been racing midgets on the midget speedways and also stock. From the small quarter-mile ovals, which are quite a typical, the most typical sort of racing, I think, in the world.
Well, you certainly have been making a record for yourself.
Just about a block from where I lived.
Yeah.
There's an interesting spectator, a monkey. It belongs to that veteran driver, Dick Egan. The time trials are on down the beach for 2 miles to pick up speed and a time mile for the record. The gals on the sidelines get pretty nervous at times. She's really dressed for the event, too. These cars do better than 110 miles an hour, and they're really burning up the sand. Our Irish lady kisses Frankie Schneider, a nice resounding one, too, and gives him the V for victory sign. Here comes the famous Marty Clark. He set the record of 115.42 miles an hour over the measured mile. Time trials are over, so up come the markers of the course. Well, it's race morning now, and the pit area is crowded and busy. Crews are intent on their jobs, and all crews aren't what you'd expect either. Look down there.
Is this a husband and wife team here? Yes, sir. What is the name, please?
Whatever you want.
Well, YouTube is like that. It's really grown over the years, and people have archived footage of different things. And I mean, let's see how many views. 71,000 views from 3 years ago.
Golly.
Yeah. How often do they have a race?
How often do they have a race?
Yeah.
I don't think it was but once a year.
Yeah.
Well, he's back in the race now.
They had the car races, they had the motorcycle races.
Yeah.
Between the Wallace and 47 and Jack Smith and 2B, with the Wallace still ahead. The Wallace takes an off turn, half in a skid. One car stalls the sand, but the crowd roars on. The passing continues as they speed down the road. The Wallace leads them off into the south turn with Jack Smith and 2B, and Roy Hall in 222 not far behind.
Look at the people right there. There's nothing to protect them. The car is out of control.
Turn is dangerous.
Yeah.
And there's one that didn't make it. It's Charles Tidwell, the number 36. Boy, what a place to back onto the track. But what else can he do? He's over the edge. Let me see, that's Chuck Arnold, the number 94. I hope he's not hurt. He's not coming out. There he is, coming through the window. He looks okay. He's unhurt.
Think about that. 272 miles an hour on sand.
How in the world is that possible?
The field is thinning out some already. He's worked up a head of steam.
200 and something?
Mm-hmm.
Good gosh.
Well, leaving it this way, the loose fender's unusual. That's Jimmy Johnson, number 7, coming into the pit while the race whizzes past him. They're going to do a quick repair job if you call knocking off a fender a repair job.
What is he doing?
Beating that fender off.
Yeah.
47 is still ahead. There's a car with a hood up. Let's see, I think it's Jimmy Johnson, number 7. Yes, it is. Here comes
The guy's got his hood up. I think the toy house is better than the others I got from Aldi's.
But these,
You notice there's a little bit difference between them?
I think they're good. You don't think they're good?
I just think the toy house are a little bit better, actually.
Oh.
Oh. That was 1957.
Hmm. Wow. I was gone in that time.
Yeah.
Were you gone? You were gone.
I wasn't born yet.
1957?
Yeah.
You weren't born yet?
Right?
Honey, I graduated in 1955.
Yeah.
How come you weren't born?
Is coming into the turn too fast. He almost loses it. Uh-oh, there's number 55.
Junior
again.
Johnson.
He just squeaks through, trying to catch Flock in the lead. And Tim Flock stays out in front, driving smoothly and easily. But there goes Junior.
My gosh.
The last skid for this kid. He takes the back way out. Those tough turns. It's a wonder these drivers even manage to stay put. Uh-oh.
My goodness. Oh.
I was ashamed, right?
It appears that sometimes they don't stay put. But it's all in a day's work. The turns are really tough.
It's the third time I saw the same wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, I guess that's enough stock car racing for tonight.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Golly. Just think that we lived there. Went there in person.
All the colors of the international racing world.
I was so mad when we had to move to Florida. Oh. Boy, I got a wee-wee. Oh.
Party on.
Mm.
Are you getting sleepy? Are you sleepy?
No, not a bit.
Okay.